Jazakumullah khair, the ones who made it. That's a good thing. Right. I would like the sisters to participate for microphone because I am not really good in reading, especially I've got normal glasses. Okay, the father does not bring up the children at all, and the wife is doing all the work in teaching and raising the family, and I'll add up sister as well maybe working and bringing money. What can she do? The father just complains that his problem is earning. Subhanallah. Well, I'll tell you what, as a woman, you have to know that your role in bringing the children is more than the man. The man's figure is actually to provide the house, but it doesn't mean that he can't share into, for example, helping the wife to teach the children. But it's more of a duty upon you, because you're not working. You are a worker in the house. You are looking after the house. So he's supporting the house to make sure that you are fed, and you are being clothed. Same thing with the children. As long as he makes a time for the children, there's no problem. So sister, you have to as well be patient. Well, I said most of the work lies upon him, but we tell the man at the same time, Prophet of Allah, kana fi sha'ni ahlihi, he was with his family, he used to help. Sometimes he washes the cups, sometimes he would, for example, fix his shoes, sometimes he would sew his clothes, but I would say sometimes. Because some people say, you see, he's fixing his shoe, here he's washing the plates. So the wife now, she sits watching the TV while he's washing the plates. Wife, she is sitting, she has a baking and putting makeup on herself while he is maybe sitting. It's not right. He has to help, but the main job is on the wife. And of course the wife, it's according to the wife that you have married. So if you married to a princess, you can't ask her to go and wash the plates. She has to have a servant, because you brought her like this. I'm not joking, this is right. So if you brought a princess, you have to be a princess yourself. So you can't, for example, go and ask her to wash a cup she has never washed in her life, or to cook she never cooked in her life. So if you are a person of normal class and you've married somebody who from the same family or same level and a cook, and you could order her to make the cook. So that's why we say it is part of most of that bringing up is upon the mother, because she has more time, and that's upon you, sister, to educate yourself religiously. And don't you complain about your husband's falling short, because if it is the case, then you will start you yourself falling short in bringing up the children. So احتسب الأجر عند الله. Hope for the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't hope for the money from your husband, or more, putting money into your bank. Don't you ever think like this. Subhanallah, the women who are, for example, they have, they think they have independence. So for example, they ask for a driving license, and they ask for a car. So when they have this car and the driving license, the husband is happy more. Why? Because she will be the one taking the children to the school. She'll be the one, she will be doing the shopping. She'll be doing everything. And she thinks she's independence. Wallah, he's making a joke of you, sister. Wallah. I tell you what, park the car and say, you bring the shopping, you take the children to the school, and that's it. And you look after the children inside the house and teach them. But why do you make the problem? You cooking and washing and cup washing, clothes washing, shopping, taking the children to school. You're a hard worker. You should be paying a lot of money. So I would say to you, this is not independence. Wallahi, it's not independence. Independence, I'd say the wives in our country, the wife, she's got nothing to do except for her children and to look after her husband. Not to go on shopping herself. The father has to go shopping. And he's got no time. He will do the shopping, but sometimes the wife helps. But not all the time the wife, and sometimes he helps, subhanAllah. But unfortunately, the women, they like the market. That's a symptom. They're not all most of the women, 99%, 0.9%, they love the shopping. You put them in the shop, don't forget about them, that's it. If there is a shaitan there massaging their legs, no problem. You have no pain whatsoever. You could go in the market for ages and not complaining. That's the reality. So the sister, the market is the worst place in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why I say to you, the husband, when he comes in the house, he should see you. Not the wife is everywhere except in the house. And one of the brothers, he said to him, when they give them the car, they're not in the house, he said, it's better. What? It's better for me not to find a wife. Why? Because his family is not together. His family is war, is fire. He is not happy. He's happy everywhere inside the house. Once he steps in the house, hell break loose, they say. Wallahi, he has to arbitrate between people whom they've got bid, they come to the rules road. But in the house, they're punching each other. They're punching each other. An old man on top of an old woman, wrestling her. I'm talking about 70 years old on top of a 70 years old woman. You think I'm joking? Wallah, I'm not joking. Wallah. They're punching her. What's this? I mean, I could have said that for 40, 30, but 70? I'm kind of have to like maybe 65, maybe not 70, 65, 68 maybe. Just about, you know, I'm not going to just maybe 65. He is maybe more than 70, but she's a bit less than him. And she's crying ahead of him, he's wrestling me. He's wrestling me, Sheikh. What can we do? Oh, what can you do? Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. It is because he's been wrestling you when he was a kid, when you were a young person. That's the house where you don't need to have it. So, mashallah, look at the children, mashallah, the little girls there, dressed up in the hijab, they like the hijab. You know the children, when they don't use the hijab on the children, they love it, they don't like anybody to take it off. They just want to do it in their house, and I don't want to leave my hijab. And they will fight for it, so they get part of their character. Don't you delay putting the hijab on your little girls when they are, 15 years old. They'll find it difficult. They'll find themselves sort of shy. But when they are like this, when they are even 4 years old, 5 years old, try to put them in there. Don't be fussy about, get inside, haven't got the hijab on, she's only 4 years old. But you say, mashallah, hijab. That's it, make her feel. And then she will be fighting for it. She will never even go out until she puts her hijab on. She will make headache for her father and mother if she doesn't have the hijab on when she comes out. Make her to love it. So, and then after that, becomes part of her character and it's a habit. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
Sheikh, a lot of parents think that they should get the children married when they are 24, 25, once they've got degrees and a house. And
so many families believe that the children has to be getting married when they are finishing their studies and they have a degree and they have family. And are you complaining they are marrying them early or they are marrying them late? It's like Allah khair. Because it's 24, it's early. It's early for him. Making him 34. So after this man has been, a'udhu billah, striving hard to keep his chastity and to keep himself away from the desires and the whims and a'udhu billah, and he's in pain all his life, and then they exhaust him after that, and then we get him married after he's been exhausted. No, the marrying, I would say, if you are a person who is well off, mashallah, you're capable of helping your son, and you know that your son, that he's a man. I'm talking he's a man. He could be a man when he is 14 years old, 15 years old, he could be a man. And he could be a kid even if he's 25 years old. He's a kid. No responsibility whatsoever. So if you see him that he's got manhood, marry him when he is, well, I don't know in this country they're going to allow it. They allow, a'udhu billah, illegal intercourse, but they don't allow marriage. But if you're going to marry him in our country, marry him 16 years old, 15 years old, he will be married. So 18 years old, get him married. So wallahi, if I had my father giving me the marriage when I was 18, I would have been happy. No, you're too young. What do you mean too young? I'm very powerful. I'm a man. I want a wife. I'm powerful. So what do you mean? Why is too young? So they torture us. The parents, they torture us without them knowing. What is this system? I would call it Freemason system. That is the person, he has to make his sure that his child, he finishes his GCSEs, and after that A-levels, and after that his degree, and after that postgraduate, and after that PhD. And then after exhausting him, get him married. And this person, what is this? What is happening to him? He went into all sorts of sins. Why is that system in your mind that he has to finish a degree? The word degree, where is it coming from? Islamic country? What is this? You know that lots of people, they finished them in degree, they pay a lot of money and still are unemployed. Nothing, they got no job whatsoever. True or not? True or not, you tell me. Now these days it costs you about more than 30,000 to educate your child. Or 45,000. How long is that son of yours going to work until he gets that back? And don't you ever go into the haram and take the loan from the government. It's haram because it is riba. Don't tolerate for yourself to feed your children haram, for verily it will go back onto your family and you'll find break in the relationship, no happiness whatsoever. Look at the source of money that comes into your house. If it's polluted, then everything will be polluted. It will affect everything. So if there is something wrong in the house, you have to really ask yourself, my source of money is halal or haram? Ask yourself. Well, am I doing my ibadah? Am I on top of my ibadah or not? Ask yourself. It's a question for yourself. And everybody knows his own problem, his own family problem. Or he knows about the family problem of his neighbor or his friend. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, well, I'm in the moon and you are, mashallah. We are all of us on the earth and we know the haqiqah. This is the truth. I had a question being given to me on last Wednesday, when I was in Luton, and the question was on a piece of paper, it was a long one, and the person who was beside me, who reads for me, he's reading the question, and he said, I can't read that question now. Maybe we'll read it later on in a different class. I said, okay. Then after the class, I said, what is it? He said to me, the question, you see, the one of the sisters, she sent a question. She said, my husband, he comes to your class, is in front of you at the moment, and he's a gambler, and he loves gambling. Subhanallah. He comes to, and all the ones who comes to my class are all of them with beards, and he loves gambling. So if you ask that question, definitely the husband will know that his wife is sent that question. What's going to happen? War when they go back. And that's why Jazakallah, and he said, next week I will pretend that I'm going to put the question myself in a different way, so he will not suspect it's with his wife. So this is what for you. So don't you ever feel that your neighbours with you walk, mashallah, beard, or you don't know what's going on inside the house. You don't know. Allah knows. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our houses. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the ones who listen to the haqq and pay heed. And jazakumullahu khairah. Okay, one question because the Amir here. So
I was just saying, if you ask the sisters to switch if they want to answer.
If you want to ask a question, please switch on, because I've got only 5 minutes. I could afford even less than that. Please, within the next 3 minutes, please, if you have any question, please go ahead, switch on the microphone and ask. No sister, she wants to ask a question. Nah, follow.
How can people in their marriages encourage their partner to become more practicing in their religion? You know, there's a lot of people that have ended up in marriages where one person is not practicing at all, and that's going to influence the children.
So you're talking about a person who were married already?
Yeah,
and his wife is not on religion, or his husband is not on religion.
It could be either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm sure that this person who got married to a non-religious person, he was not religious when he got married to her. That both of them, they were not on the haqq. One of them, it would be good that both of them comes to the haqq. Or both of them repent to Allah. But maybe one of them would repent and the other still. And that's the problem. That one, the husband, yes, that's what you're talking about.
It could be either way.
The husband, it could be, that's what you're talking about. So how can we bring that other person to them?
Yeah, that's right.
You have to be patient. You look at yourself when you were away from the haqq. It took you some time to know the haqq. So be patient. But patience here is not forever. I would say for the wife, she would have to be more patient, because the wife usually is the case, she cannot be independent. She's always afraid and scared to be on her own. Whereas the husband has got more independence, and that's why. But the Prophet ﷺ, he said to the husbands that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept the supplication of a person who has got a wife who is badly mannered and he does not divorce her. Allah will not accept the supplication of a man who has got a badly mannered wife and he does not divorce her. Your wife is badly mannered, rude. She does not do the prayers. She does not do that. You did told her, you admonished her, and you went through the system, which is admonishing and then leaving the bed and not really making the marital relation. Then after that it does not work. You have as well disciplined her by making her a sort of a beating, not beating which is hard, a beating which is more of a mental rather than a physical. And then after that you have made a person from your family to approach her, a woman, advise her still. Then you have to go and divorce her, because you have to try to with her the best. She's the one who's going to bring up your children. She's badly mannered. The same thing with the sister. You have to as well to take the measures with the husband. You can't take the same measures. You can't, for example, torture him by, which we call it, because I've got kids here, I'm not going to really use the words, but they use, for example, the teasing. For example, they don't really give him what he desires. So they torture him, they make him harassment in terms of his marital relation. You understand me? You can't use that as a wife. The husband can use it for the wife, but the wife, she can't use it for the husband, because the husband will maybe hit the wall. He's got power in him, so he cannot channel his power properly. He might fornicate, different from the women. So the woman, she cannot use that. She could use admonishing, advice, bring in other people's, to speak to your husband. For example, you speak to your friend your friend has got a husband who's a friend of your husband, or talk to the father-in-law, and so on and so forth. This is the way, but you have to be patient. And have to be patient and patient. And patience, of course, has got limits. If your husband is still a drunkard, and husband is still, for example, a'udhu billah, he is a person who's not praying, then you're better off without it. You could ask for khulu', and Allah will grant you, and Islam will grant you the khulu', and it could be as quickly as, just like that. You ask for the khulu', and if he doesn't give it divorce, khulu', you ask the judge, and unfortunately, I should say, our Islamic system is not really good in terms of justifying the women. They're not. Okay? In terms of they are belaying them so much. And of course as well the wife, she would ask khulu' in every second. And that's why Allah has given the divorce in the hand of the man. Because it was in the hand of the woman, she would divorce him 5 times a day, and would return him 5 times a day. Each prayer she would divorce him, second prayer she would bring him back. Because he's emotionally built. As for the man, he's in more control. He will not divorce unless they reach the limit. That's it. So the woman, she would divorce him easily. That's why Allah has given the divorce in there. But she could ask for khulu'. She doesn't like it. Or he's a bad man. She could raise his matter to the judge, and the judge will look into it, and he will force the husband to utter the word divorce. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Please, I ask you, Jazakumullah khairan, we have to conclude our talk. I have got something to do. I've got a lecture as well in London. So barakallahu feekum. Wa ahsanallahu alaykum. Subhanakallahu bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Barakallahu. Assalamu alaikum.